Здравствуйте, меня зовут Richard Gom. Приятно познакомиться. Anyway, so hello everybody. I'm Richard Gom of Work to Live podcast version. So it's really hot. These days actually. So summer has come, which is the situation of my country. So which means so not which doesn't mean not which doesn't mean so I'm recording this episode, or I'm creating this episode in the beginning of July in 2022. So in which or when the war when the Slavic war has been prolonged since the beginning yeah. Anyways, so so I don't remember. Anyway, I don't remember the exact date of the beginning of the last Ukrainian war. So formal. That is the official name for the Slavic war. I'm using. I call the last Ukrainian war as that Slavic war or Slavic war. That is because the belligerents or the fighting parties or fighting countries or the participating countries are now Slavic countries, and so one of so the intruding country is Russian Federation, and the intruded country is Ukraine. And so at least not at least, so so far not Belgium, but so I forgot the name of that country, so I remember, yeah. So Belarus, I'm a non-native speaker of English language, which I think is one of the reasons why I can't pronounce the name of that country well. So anyway, so pronouncing the country, so Belarus is really difficult for a non-native speaker of English language. And anyway, so to start with, to start with, I think the Belarus is a Slavic pronunciation. Or Belarus, I think, is a Slavic name for that country, and whose capital city is Minsk. Anyway, so if you don't know much about Belarus, so and Slavic, another Slavic language is used in that nation. Or some people say Slavonic languages for explaining Russian language and Ukrainian language and Belarusian language. And anyway, so categorizing those Slavic languages, so Russian language and Ukrainian language and Belarusian language are categorized into East 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 Slavic languages, anyway, which is the name of that, which is the name of a linguistic group, anyway. So anyway, so this is a, how should I say, this is a lubricant for my speaking ability. Anyway, so I frequently digress when I create each episode. That is one of the reasons is that I'm really better at speaking English, and another reason is that I sometimes I intentionally speak out another topic different from the track or the topic of each episode. Anyway, so which is how I can, so I'm making myself get used to speaking at a foreign language different from my mother tongue. And my mother tongue is an East Asian language, and I live in a developed country in East Asia. Anyway, so I should come back to the track of this episode. This episode, so the title of this episode is Russia should win the war in favor of Ukrainian people, and the mira, Ukraine, which is a Russian part of this title. And the conclusion is, what people want, or the general public wants, is peace. To prevent Ukraine from further destructions, it is necessary to end the war as soon as possible. So anyway, so there is a war taking place in the Ukrainian territory, which is what everybody which is what almost everybody knows in this world so far. Anyway, so I'm, as I told you, I'm creating this recording, or I'm creating this episode on July in 2022. So which is in which we, or maybe I think it's it's last February or this February, just in on the February of this year, the war started, which is a current which is a situation of that last Ukrainian war anyway. So so what I'd like you to know in this time is that it's so the first priority has to be to end the war as soon as possible, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So anyway, so what people anyway, so generally speaking, what people want, or what the general public wants is peace. For example, whichever country you live in, and so I'd like in this case, I'd like Ukrainian people to listen to this episode, which is because so prioritizing many factors related to that war, for example, that Slavic war, for example. So what is necessary is to protect human lives. Or what is necessary? I think what is necessary is to protect in this case, the lives of Ukrainian people, which I think should come before the rest of the things involved into or related to the last of Ukrainian war. Human lives are the most important, which is what I think anyway. So which means so prioritize, as I told you, prioritizing many factors or many things. Protecting human lives should come first, other than the rest of those factors anyway. So which means so and one of the options, I think this is one of the good options, or one of the better options, and which is Russia beating Ukraine, which I think is one of the best options for protecting the lives of Ukrainian people, and to enable that situation, to enable Russia to beat or to win the war. So it can be necessary to help Russia, or to help Russian troops to conquer, or to let them take the control of Ukrainian territory. So so putting yourselves into the shoes of Ukrainian people, whichever country, whichever government, it's fine to govern or control the Ukrainian territory. So the present Ukrainian government is controlled by, or the present government has a president who is so Volodymyr Zelensky, or using his own mother tongue, Vladimir Alexandrovich Zelensky can be a better expression, because the mother tongue of President Zelensky of Ukraine is Russian language anyway. So putting yourselves into the shoes of general Ukrainian civilians. So it's fine that, for example, it's fine that Russia governs, or Russia controls the businesses of Ukraine, or the Ukrainian territory. That is because so what I'm telling you is that after, I don't know what is going to happen if Russia beats Ukraine, but actually after Russia beating Ukraine, so what is going to happen, I think, is that Russia creates another country, or another government. Russian Federation can easily control, and the name of that new government can be, for example, so Ukrainian People's Republic, which can be option I have come up with anyway. So so for example, using Russian language, that the name of that republic can be, so for example, so Ukrainsky Ukrainian Народная Republic, or for example, such kind of name can be assigned to that country, or that present Ukraine. Anyway, so but actually, what is necessary is to protect as many human lives of Ukraine as possible. So which is what we should bring to the first priority over the rest of the factors or over the rest of the elements related to that war, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So let me and so anyway, I'm thinking of ending this episode, although this can be really fast. Anyway, so before actually ending this episode, let me tell you the translation of the Russian part in the title of this episode. And the Russian part is the Mira, Ukraini, so which means for the peace of Ukraine. And so this is I don't know I don't know its reason, but actually so Russian language has the same word for meaning world and peace, which means translating the English word peace into Russian. So the word is that Russian word is mir, and translating the English word world into Russian one. So the Russian word is mir, which is what I have just told you. So that's it. Not that's it. Anyway, so I should tell you. I almost forgot. I almost forgot to tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode. Anyway, the title is Russia should win the war in favor of Ukrainian people. Zamira Ukraini. And the conclusion is what people want, or the general public wants, is peace. So to prevent Ukraine from further destructions, it is necessary to end the war as soon as possible. So whichever you live in, and anyway, the majority of the listeners of my podcast is American people, and of course some large percentage or some large ratio of Western European people living in the Western European developed countries frequently listen to the episodes of my podcast. Anyway, so whichever country you live in, so what is important is to protect human lives, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you. Paka paka.